Maggie gave me this. Isn't it a beauty? This is General Electric. Usually I use KitchenAid. Uh-oh, I'm gonna go under there, big boy. He's tall. I have this funny little kick-out cutting board because the kitchen is so funny and quirky. They put this cutting board, which is sort of out of the way, but it's gonna help us. It's gonna work. And there's power. The first time christening this new beautiful mixer. Oh, I love it. It's so clean. Yeah. Ooh, and it kind of pops up. Look at that. Go, watch this. Wait a minute, how do I do that? Boop, automatic. Look at how clean this thing is. Oh, it has my 3 parts. Okay. Meet my beautiful Maine mixer from Maggie with love. Thank you, General Electric and Maggie. We're gonna christen it with Martha Stewart's Gingerbread Men, which I've been making for probably 20 years, and our favorite. And so why change it? I always make the same. It's always good. And the funniest memory and story, and oh God, such nostalgia, was at our cookie swap. Maggie and I used to always host a cookie swap in our Surrey house in Maine right before Christmas, which cookie swaps are, I think, in my top 10 favorite things to do with people. So fun. But at the time we had old Lily, the brown lab, and she was just a mooch and a food stealer, and you couldn't trust her. And so Maggie was little at the time, and Lily was still young, so she could jump up on the counter. So you know where the story's going. But you had to make like 6 or 7 dozen of each cookie for the cookie swap, so everybody could take at least 6 to 12 cookies. So we were on our last tray of the gingerbread, and we would dry them out in the porch, which was really fun. And so we'd probably done at least 5 trays. I don't know, maybe we had 70 cookies done, and I always like to do more because I was the host, so I'd have some out for people to snack on. Anyway, all our gingerbread were out on the porch, and we're on the last tray, and people were literally coming in within the hour or so. So we wanted them fresh into the house smelling like gingerbread. And that old Lily, that little door to the porch was open just a hint, and as I took my last tray out of the oven to put them out to cool, Lily had completely cleared every single cookie. And what she didn't clear, what was in my hand, I started yelling, Lily! Boom! Up went the last tray. So, Maggie got upset because I yelled at the dog, and I was like, I could mortified because now I have no cookies to serve. I'm the host. You know what? We still had a great time, and now we can laugh about it. But we weren't laughing that day for a while. Anyway, that's my gingerbread Lily with love story. And have fun watching the cookies. Merry Christmas, everybody. Okay. I just learned this trick. You know, say what you will about social media and Instagram, but it's teaching me a lot, especially about baking these days. I can't wait because the power's probably going to go off any minute now because we have high wind warning and it's already starting up, and I've got to make my gingerbread dough. So I learned on, I'll try to figure out the handle of her Instagram, I can't remember, but she taught me that if you take butter out of the fridge and your recipe calls for room temperature butter, you just cut it into like tablespoons, mine are a little bigger, and you put it on defrost for like 10 seconds, and then you flip it and do another defrost 10 seconds. We're going to do it together. It should be room temperature. So in 20 seconds, my cold from the fridge butter will be at room temperature. Here's a kitchen hack. So I just did the first 10 seconds, and now I'm flipping. Flip, flip, flip. I mean, it's like watching boiling water, watching water boil, right? If you have to wait for your butter to come to room temperature and you want to bake. Okay, time, defrost, 10 seconds. Let the magic of power happen. Yeah. Look at my paper whites. They're just starting, Pat calls them smelly whites. They're just starting to bloom. Okay, here we go. Moment of truth. We should have defrosted butter. Boop. I'd say pretty, oh, you know what? I'm gonna give it another 2 seconds. almost there. I don't know if that was enough. No, I'm gonna give it another 3 seconds. Whoops, 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 whoops. I did the wrong thing. Time defrost, 3 seconds, start. 3, 2, 1, defrosting. Perfectly room temperature butter, I bet. Yep, look at, now you see the difference? It's not melted. This one's a little hard, but that's okay, I'm gonna let it go. Perfecto, thank you. Instagram hack. Put this over with the rest of our ingredients. We're about to, I don't know how to quickly bring to room temperature an egg. I don't want to defrost it. I'm going to put it in my warm hands. And I'm going to warm up our little egg baby. And then we're going to start mixing our dough and wrap it in plastic and put it in the fridge, ready for Christmas baking. Okay, we still have power, so let's do this. This is you're going to use the paddle attachment. It's the first time I'm using this great mixer. It's so clean. Okay, first you start with the wet ingredients like normal. Let's put in our brown sugar, and you know all how to do brown sugar, right? You have to pack it. Now, I should say, for the Martha's basic gingerbread cookie recipe, it makes a lot of cookies, and it calls for 6 cups of flour. In the past, I've made it when we're doing, especially a cookie party, it's fine. But, you know, for our small Christmas this year, I'm gonna cut the recipe in half. I'll put up the whole recipe in the description notes, but I'm just doing half today because it's a lot of dough, which is lovely. But we're just gonna use the 3 cups of flour, and it's gonna start with a half a cup of packed dark brown sugar. You know, you could use light and your cookies are just gonna look lighter. I happen to love the sort of caramely flavor of the dark brown, and that's what it calls for anyway. And I like my gingerbread to use, oh, there's Ollie, there's Lily. He's not as bad though. He's not as mischievous as Lily is with food, but he's always here when the food comes out. So there, make sure we do nice, pack, lots of brown sugar. Whoop, whoop, there's some sugar for Ollie. It'll be even sweeter. Okay, so good packed. Half a cup of packed brown sugar right in. I'm not gonna give you that. I'm not gonna give you that sugar, my biggie. And our warmed up room temperature egg. Oh, not yet. And then our butter. Next goes the butter. Our room temperature butter goes next, right in. Because you always, just like cookies, cakes, they always start kind of the same, right? Butter and sugar get creamed together first. Okay, let's see how this new baby works. Oh, how do you, oh, okay. Try nice. Oh, I can't quite see it. Okay. I'm not really sure how to get this dial. So I'm still getting to know it. Where's the power? This is not as, it's funny. How do you turn it on? How do you turn it on? Okay. There's not many knobs on this thing. But, God. Okay. All right. Maybe I'm getting punked. Maybe you pull it out, push it in. Okay. I have no idea. I don't actually know how I just did that. All there is on this GE mixer is numbers, and somehow, okay. It's actually very quiet. Okay, about midway through, unlock it. I like to scrape down the sides so that it's really fluffy and all the butter is incorporated. Do a quick scrape. Did you hear? It is quiet. I mean, it probably sounds really loud on the video, but it's actually a much quieter machine than the KitchenAid. Kind of. Oh, sorry about that, Ollie. That was loud. Okay, back down we go. That tell me okay, so you have to go like that, and then it flips back, and I turn on my, so you have to turn it past the number 2 to get going, I guess. And I'm gonna go on high. Now, when that's done, we add in our egg, 1 egg. The whole recipe calls for 2. And then our spices, which, you know, the key to gingerbread is, in my opinion, well, the molasses, but the pepper and the ginger. So there's a lot of ginger. The whole recipe calls for, that's not gonna fit, is it? The whole recipe calls for 4 teaspoons. Okay, I just love this tool that Julie gave me, Julie and Mark Plummer. 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. It's so cool and beautiful. 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. 2 teaspoons of ginger. It sounds like a lot, but oh, it even goes in there. That's nice. 2 teaspoons of ginger. 1. Put in there. I don't want that. I don't want to overdo the ginger. 2 teaspoons of ginger. 2. And then the whole recipe calls for 1.5 teaspoons each of black pepper and salt. Black pepper is key in this too. I just love the 1.5. Oh, that's not going to fit. Okay, I'm going to do it over here. Don't measure your spices into your recipe. Big mistake, because you know, if you over pour and it goes in, it's a kiss of death. I have a lot of trouble opening this. Okay. There's 1, and then a half. You know, I have a half, and then a half a teaspoon. Look how cute! It's so cute. Whoa! This is a beautiful tool. 1.5 teaspoons of, you want to use the finely ground, not the coarse. I forget what I'm doing now. Did I do the salt? I did the pepper. I don't think I did the salt yet. Or the cloves. Oh geez. Okay, I gotta stop. Okay, I just checked my recipe. I'm really bad. I can't remember a recipe no matter how many times I make it with baking. I put in 3 times the amount of black pepper. It was only supposed to be a teaspoon for the whole. Oh my God, I put in 1.5 teaspoons. Okay, that's an issue. So you know what we're gonna do? I am going to fish, oops, that's not good. That's not good at all. I'm gonna try to fish out some of that. Oh my God, 1.5 teaspoons, that's a lot of pepper. Really peppery. Well, I don't think I can get it out at this point. I don't. It's not gonna come out, but you know what? There's 3/4 of a teaspoon of ground cloves. So 3/4 of a teaspoon. Let's put it in there and just go to 3/4. I don't even have to because I think, you know what? Sorry, 3/4 of the clove. Okay, I did I do the cinnamon? Cinnamon, clove, ginger, black pepper. I don't think I did the salt yet. So the salt we're gonna do over here. So 1.5 teaspoons, so it's gonna be 3/4 of a teaspoon. There's half, and here's 1/4. So that's, I'll put a little bit more because I put in so much pepper. These are gonna be wacky. So I'm probably gonna have to do it again. Okay, the egg, the spices are in. Let's keep mixing. Very interesting. Okay. You know what? Even though I made that really bad mistake with the pepper, believe it or not, sometimes the recipes are very forgiving. I'm not sure with this pepper that's going to be the case, but we'll see. I'm not going to throw it out. I think it's going to be an interesting test. Anyway, the other all-important ingredient, of course, in gingerbread is the molasses. Now, I always use Grandma's molasses. It's very sweet. A couple of years back, I used blackstrap molasses. I don't know what got into me. I thought they were the same, and I thought blackstrap was kind of like the Puritans' like best kind of molasses. Those gingerbread cookies were not the same, and they were not very sweet. And I'm going to say they were not all that good. We ate them, but you've got to use really the Grandma's, the sweetened unsulfured molasses. It's going to give you the kind of gingerbread that you want, unless you want not sweet gingerbread. Half a cup. Where's my half a cup? Because remember, the recipe calls for a whole cup. We're doing only half. Look at that beautiful black gold. Half a cup. You see how that's a little trick too. You see how you swirl it at the end so it doesn't all dribble down the side? Another kitchen. In goes that beautiful molasses. Oh, it smells so good. The molasses, to me, the right molasses, the pepper and the ginger are the really all important. Don't mess around with those. Oh my God. Okay, get all that molasses out. I'll clean up that mess. Don't worry. Well, oh, the ghost just came in. Did you hear the door creak? The door just opened on its own. Okay, hi, Mom. Be right back. Hello, Christmas, spirit of Christmas. We're filming, so come on in. All right, let's wipe up our little mess. Well, my new mixer is no longer so pristine as it was, which is good, I guess. Gotta get dirty sometime, break it in. We go with the molasses. Oh my God, I don't know what's happening to me today. This new mixer and I have some, I guess I didn't have it locked in there well enough. Okay, let's just settle down, Suey. Again, you know, just like in most classic baking, the wet ingredients got mixed up first. Now we're gonna mix in the dry ingredients, which her recipe calls for 6 cups of flour. We're gonna go half, we're gonna go 3 cups. I have 2 cups in there. I'm not a sifter. I never have been, never will be. Right, Charlotte? We don't sift. It's too time consuming. I don't really have to be that persnickety. Sorry, Martha. I don't know. They always come out good, so that's what I'm gonna say. That's the test. They always come out good. So I'm not a sifter. So here's that's 3 cups of flour in the bowl. And then we're gonna mix our baking powder and baking soda into the dry ingredients. A half a teaspoon of baking soda. Right in. A quarter of baking powder. You wonder does that little amount really do anything? A quarter of baking powder. And let's just give that a little mix around. These things really come in handy, truly. Okay, now this part, if your mixer is old, my old mixer used to give me trouble because it gets very thick. But since I'm only doing half, I think it's gonna be fine. We're gonna go really slowly and just add, I'm gonna use that again. Just add in the dry ingredients, and I think I'm gonna pop this up so I have more space to work with. And I'm gonna put a little at a time, like a third of it in first. Give that a mix around, slowly at first because the flour poof, comes all up in your face. Pick it up. And scrape down the side. Another tool from Julie. Really handy. I'm going to scrape it down with this as we go. So these are all done. I like to push my ingredients away if I've already mixed them in. Get them out of sight. It's just like my mom, I have a tendency to forget things and put them too much in or too little in or not at all. Okay, that looks good. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna put it all in, the rest of it, because it's, when I used to make the full recipe, it was a lot more cumbersome to work with. This half the recipe is actually really the way to go. It's much easier to work with. And it's better on the motor. It's not taxing it, because the whole recipe used to come up to about here. The half recipe's down here in volume. So it's not, the machine is handling it beautifully. Do you know what? I love being in Maine, as you know. This beautiful, look at this cutting board. A young man, there's some little woodworm holes in the wood. I bought this at Yellow Birch Farm in Deer Isle, just down the street. I love them. And they had a Christmas sort of fair at their farm. And the woman's son made this. And I just love it. Love it. Oh, this looks really good. Let's turn it off and let's, it's still, oops. God. You know what? I'm like really messy today. Let's get under there and really, you know what's interesting? It hasn't really, I'm gonna get down to the bottom of this and get it mixed up because it's still crumbly. It hasn't really pulled together yet. So we're gonna give it some more mixing. And I'm thinking, am I missing some liquid? No, it's not really wet, it's crumbly. This has been a really different day. And it's coming together nicely. Actually, not too wet. That helped though, giving it a mix around on the bottom. Put that back down. Another little taste. Pepper. Good. I like it. Actually. I don't think it's too much pepper. Do you know how people like, sometimes I used to drink Merlot wine, red wine, and I would always like the peppery type of Merlots. This is the same case. Of course, it's going to tend towards pepper because I put in 3 times too much pepper. It's still really good. It's not really, it's still crumbly. Yeah, well, whatever. I think I'm going to just see how it comes together. Oh, I think it's perfect. You see how it just comes together in your hand like that? Oh, it's nice. You can see all the pepper in there. Oh, here's another trick. This is a French baking trick. Watch this. I'm gonna take, don't look at my messy bread. Oh, this house has so many quirks. Don't pretend you didn't see that. A nice clean tea towel. Look at this. Like, I feel like a magician. Now, watch me pull the gingerbread out of the white tea towel. This is what the French do with their pastry dough. Is you don't want to get it warmed up with your hands. So I'm going to do the same trick with my gingerbread. And I guarantee I'm going to mess up this white, beautiful white tea towel. Also a gift from Julie. But here's a fun, I showed you this on another video, I'm pretty sure, with my dough, my tart dough, I think. Where you scrape it all. Okay, I really like how this has come out. You see how beautiful and crumbly it is? It's not wet, it's not soggy, it's not too dry. It's just crumbling enough that it's going to come together beautifully. When we push it together, I'm going to put it all out on this tea towel. this. First I'm gonna scrunch it a little bit with my hand so it doesn't go flying everywhere. Watch this. Let's hope. Yeah, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Most of it. Actually, this is another Martha Stewart. Don't waste anything. I never waste anything. Get all those little bits. Okay. All right. Not going to touch it anymore with my hands. Watch this. Take your towel, pull it up, twist it a little. Look at. Yep. Yep. Work it. Sides. It's a really rainy, gloomy, high wind day, and we've lost power already 3 or 4 times here in these conditions, so that's why I'm racing to do this, and probably why my mind is not as focused. Well, I'll give that as an excuse. But this is a perfect day to do this before the power goes out, and we've done it. And we did as much as we need to do to wrap it. Next, I'm going to wrap this. Watch this. Moment of truth. Ta-da! Oh, look at that. Can you see? Perfect. Not overworked, all mixed together. Smells delicious. And then what I'm going to do, I have, God, another bane of my existence is plastic wrap. Jackie. Okay, this is a new thing I'm trying. The plastic wrap that has this little sliding cut. Let's hope. Okay, because I can't stand. Okay. Oh, I forgot to put the little hoosie down here. Okay, go like that, and then you're supposed to just be able to. Oh, it has to go. Jesus Christmas. How is it going to cut it? Okay, the slider has to be beyond the plastic, and then you just go. Perfect. I'm going to cut my dough in half, and you need to chill. You need to chill your gingerbread for at least I'm going to say an hour before you bake it. Where's my cutter? So, but in this case, I might do a test run today, but I make this several days ahead of Christmas, so that I'm not, well, actually it's a week before Christmas. Oh, this feels so good. Oh, that's pretty. Put it in there. Wrap it up, not too much handling. I'm only handling it a lot because I'm videotaping, but otherwise I wouldn't. So like this. And you know what? You don't have to make it into a circle because, well, we're not making a pie. So there's that. That's going to go in the fridge. So first you want to chill it in the fridge. And then if you're not going to bake it all, like I like to keep some in the freezer so that I can bake little batches at a time fresh. Do you know, I mean, how special is that for someone to get a fresh baked gingerbread cookie right out of the oven and have your kitchen smell, come on Hoosie, have your kitchen smell like the smells of Christmas. And you know, I like this, I just have to get to know it better. I like that plastic wrap thingy. And I know, Jackie Nunez, this is a place where I do use plastic wrap, and I'm going to think of an alternative, or you're going to write in beeswax wrappers or something reusable. You know, she's my friend. That single-use plastic is not good. I know. I know. Here we go. Here we go. Ready for the fridge. And now I feel like this is not enough. We did it. Okay. Martha Stewart's basic gingerbread cookie recipe. It'll be in the notes description. I did only half. I put in 3 times the amount of pepper, but I think we're going to be fine. And look at the little prince has been watching me. Look at his paws. He's been watching me the whole time. He sits like a little prince. Oh, you missed it. Oh, Ollie. Power is still on. My dough's been chilling in the fridge for about an hour. Got my oven preheated to 350. I can't wait because I want to do a little test. I'm only going to do about half of this. I want to do a test taste cook before my family gets here, so that make sure they're really not too peppery and I don't have to make another round of dough. But let's roll these out. I'm going to use my cute little baby gingerbread man and this new sweet rolling pin I got at the Belfast Farmers Market. Oh, it just feels so nice. So, anyway, let's just do flour your surface. Like I said, I'm only going to do half. I may not even do half, but yeah, I'll do half. Just to have some, when people come by the next few days, or give to the neighbors. Or give to Percy Brown, who's going to be, and my electrician, Clay Haskell, who's going to be hooking up my generator this week. That would be nice. Okay, enough chit chat. Let's lightly flour. Oh, the dough feels good. Putting it in the fridge for that hour, it just brings the dough together so it's not sticky, and it holds together nicely when you're rolling it out. Yeah, and I'm going to have a little coffee break. Maybe we're not going to lose power today, but it's still rainy and really windy. Roll out to 1/8 of an inch. Sometimes I like mine a little thick too, so they don't get dry. Sweet. Yeah, it's probably more than 1/8 of an inch, but I'm going to keep it that way because I like it. Oops. So cute. "20 minutes at 350. I'm going to mix up the royal icing, but the power's now been flickering and it's probably about to go out, and I have 4 minutes left on my first batch of cookies, and then I'll dip them. But just in case I lose you, I do royal icing. I just put some powdered sugar and some water. I don't have meringue powder, which is like a dried egg white to help stabilize these instead of using raw egg whites. So I'm just going to do powdered sugar and water today, and not cream of tartar, because that's quite a different thing. And sometimes I used to put cream of tartar in by accident. I didn't really know. But I'm just going to do powdered sugar and water today. Maybe a little splash of lemon juice, but not too much. And then I'll hope that the power stays on and you can see the rest of me dipping the gingerbread in the icing. And this is a nice teachable moment to do. We're going to do the royal icing. I'm not even going to use a recipe because it's so easy. Just do put in as much powdered sugar as you feel like, really. This is a 2 pound bag, but I'm not baking up that many cookies this week, so you don't want to have, and you don't really need that much. So, and I'm doing it in this container because it's nice, wide open, and I can dip my little cookies in here, and then I can also put the lid on and store it in the refrigerator for using the rest of the week. But I don't know what that is, maybe a half a cup. This is how you get your kitchen confidence. You're just winging it. It's things like this with 2 ingredients, you don't need to be measuring precisely. Just put a little drizzle of water, and this will depend on how loose and liquidy or how stiff you want your. Oh, there's my cookies, and the power stayed on, so we've got that batch cooked. Okay, just give me a second. I did do the 20 minutes. And you see they're nice brown. They're not gooey. See those little dry marks? Ooh, those little dry sort of opening marks. I look for that to make sure that they're cooked all the way through. So I am going to put this aside for a minute and cook off our last 4. Let me just slide these guys onto the drying rack. Because the power just flipped on and off several times. So I kind of hope it drops off in the middle of my scene, because that would be so dramatic, right? I like this rolling pin. You see this little area I can maneuver it in? It's not unwieldy. And I'm not even going to waste that little bit. You know what I'm going to do with that? I'm just going to make it into a circle. No. I'll make it into a circle cookie. Just like that. Boop, boop, boop. 2 batches. 350, 20 minutes. Get back to our mixing. Kind of like mixing cement. But I think it looks good. Come and see. Just add a little water at a time so it doesn't get too liquidy. But this is going to be just enough. I don't want to waste it any. This will be just enough, more than enough to dip this batch I'm making right now as a test. Also another thing, I don't like to eat the gingerbread without icing on it. That's the sugar tooth in me. I need that little sweetness on top to offset the gingerbread. It's perfect, but yeah, that looks nice. You could drizzle it. I don't, I used to get fussy and put this in the piper and, go around the edges, but I like to dip my whole guy in, face front, into the pool, and pull it out, but they're still a little warm. I'm going to wait till they're cool to dip them, but now the icing is ready. Taste it. Perfect. I'm not going to put the lemon juice in. Too tricky. Get them in there. That. Oh, that's good. Just take a little off. Push it around. Let it drip a bit. Fast this goes. Wow, that piping and the details, it's a lot, and this way you get more sweetness with it. Every bite is coated in the icing sugar. And look how fast it goes. When you're doing 100 cookies, you don't want to be piping 100 cookies, do you? I don't. It's too much. I like this. Sweet. So just keep going along. It's very kind of meditative. I mean, if you did want to add details, you could add some little dried cranberries as the buttons and the eyes. That would be cute. But again, simple is best sometimes. These are just so great and fast. And if you don't have a lot of time, these say Christmas and they're not a lot of fuss. And the dough stores for such a long time in the freezer. You could have it until the spring. It's still fine. Look how cute. Perfect. And these will dry in about an hour. Nice. Can't wait. So I'm going to have a coffee break. I'm going to try one before they're actually dried, but Merry Christmas. I dare say they're not peppery enough. Oh. I don't know if you heard that crunch. The icing is going to actually soften up the dough, so it's kind of nice to have it a little bit on the dry side so that when you do ice them, they won't get too soggy, so the nice crunchy cookie will hold up to that. And this was one of the thinner ones I did. This guy's much thicker. He'll be better. Perfect. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas from Maine. Thanks for watching today and all year as I've learned to become a YouTuber. Next week, I will finally put out our first episode on our big change here this year, the purchase of our old Maine house and getting it set up. Not sure why it's taking me so long to finish it, but I will finish it by the end of the year. I look forward to creating new fun cooking videos from Maine and bringing you all along as we explore our new areas of Maine together and do lots of home projects together, and of course, chat about life's ups and downs and how to make life a little bit easier and more delicious and full of joy. Happy holidays to you and your families, and thank you for following Let's Chat and Cook a Chicken. Join us next week for our final 2023 episode, Change is the Only Constant.